Good morning, everybody. Welcome, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in parts of the world. And welcome back. Hope you all had a great Easter and a break. Once again, thanks to Mark Hart, who is our guru technical expertise guy, who has put everything up on the OC Callers website. He is hosting it, and he's also my co-host for this. So if you do have any comments for wishing to record or that kind of stuff, just send Mark a message and he will do it. Today we've got a very interesting topic. It's one that I did not know a lot about because I didn't approach calling on this aspect, but the more I dug into it, the more I learned. And Bob Elling has mentioned this in a number of different sessions about moving back and forth between the boxes, controlling the choreography all the time, knowing where you are, getting in, getting out. And he's mentioned, it's a room with doors, and you go in one door, choose what door you want to go out of, do what you want, come back, go back and forth. And as I said, there's a lot of these methodologies that I have always wanted to capture and record with the documentation to support the ideas. And Bob was good enough to share his ideas with me and assist me in putting this PowerPoint presentation to support him and document it. So I'm going to hand this over to Bob. For those that you have not met him, Bob has been calling for, well, let's just say 5 decades would be an understatement, I think, at this point. And he is the owner, proprietor, presser, manufacturer, chief bottle keeper, and dishwasher of Riverboat Records, which has absorbed a lot of labels. He is adamant in keeping the activity alive and bringing newer people into the activity and preserving what is good and improving it. So without going further on that, to take up on what is going to be a complex subject, and we'll probably be back to talk about it on multiple occasions, Bob Elling, welcome.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of you who came to this session. I really appreciate it. I have quite a few friends who just joined in special for it, and I appreciate it. Yeah, and we're going to get to the 4 doors part, which is the graphic here. And to explain that is you enter into this room, and this room could be any one of the 4 boxes, so to speak, as in head square through your face. Everybody's facing the corner. What my system is all about sequence, and mainly primary sequence. I don't care about giving special names to out of sequence situations and that. I go to a place like a corner box. I don't know a caller who can't call after square through 4, can't resolve to the corner. Okay. And what I hope today to show you is that you can go to any group as long as you know what primary is, and basically do 2 couple calling in that, and you know what your get out is. Okay, next slide, please. The importance of sequence. I'm not sure. Any formation you have, you see this little red thing that connects everybody? Is sequence. And whether you be in lines, circles, boxes, everybody can be in a primary sequence. Okay? Primary means not that you have your partner. Okay? It means that everybody's a sequence. You draw the circle and you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to deal with girls out, boys out, all out. Those, I don't work with those. I mean, my dancers transition through those, but as a part of a module that gets them back to the primary. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I only deal with number 1 in that last slide. Okay, and I can dazzle any plus floor and make them have fun. The whole purpose of what I do is very much, I think the idea of what SSD, is to call a simple dance. How can I keep it simple and entertain the people? Before I get to this circle thing, the thing is variety. Most callers don't understand what variety really is. We'll just take the sequence. Okay, we'll start with circles here. And I've never heard anybody talk about primary relationships in circles. We have a partner circle. Every man has his partner on the right. A right-hand lady circle, which is still in sequence. Everybody has the right-hand lady. Opposite lady circle, everybody has their opposite. Corner lady circle, everybody has their corner. Easier to understand is, okay, from a primary circle or square, you do a 4 ladies chain and you go to an opposite lady circle. Or you do a 4 ladies chain 3/4, and 1, 2, 3, and you have a corner lady circle. Chain across from there, you have a right-hand lady circle. And you should understand how to resolve from all 4 of those. You can resolve with a right and left grand. On a corner circle, Alabama left, do a right and left grand. Bingo, you got it. On a right-hand lady circle, same get out, Alabama left, do a right and a left grand. On the 4th hand, courtesy turn, and you're into a partner circle. Opposite lady circle, Alabama left, do a right and a left grand. On the 3rd hand, promenade. Corner lady circle, Alabama left, walk by your partner, your current partner, which is your corner, and promenade your original partner. So it's you have the same get out, but be aware of those get outs and create other ones. Next slide, please. You notice I didn't even talk about getting somebody out of sequence. Okay. Because the thing, or go back, yeah, I'm still in it. If you have side ladies chain, the ladies aren't in sequence. How do you get them out of sequence? Most guys will say, just chain them back. No, you have the head ladies chain then, and what you've accomplished is you're into a primary circle again. Okay. Head ladies chain. Now, the girls aren't in sequence anymore. And we think to fix it, we have to call head ladies chain again. But no, side ladies chain. Show it on the screen. Okay.
Is that not showing on the screen?
Well, no, you just made the comment. Okay, now it's showing. Okay. Now notice then that you have the ladies are all back in sequence again, and everybody has their opposite. Now you could fix it with a 4 ladies chain, or you could do an Alabama left grand on hand number 3 promenade. Or you could use Alamandars. Next, okay. And it's very important to go back and start learning what happens in circles. And I'll show you why in a bit. Next screen. Or
Examination or slide?
Next slide. Working with the Alamo circle. Alamo left in the Alamo style, you have a partner Alamo ring. Then you could cast off 3/4 with the right, boys run and promenade. A right hand lady circle. How do we get them back in sequence? Ladies to the left run around the boy, and you're back to your partner's circle. Opposite lady, swing through, right or left grand. Bingo, you got your partner. Corner lady circle. What is it here? There we go. Oh, you do a swing. Is it a swing through? Right, left. Oh, yeah, do a swing through and the girl run left. You're back into a primary circle.
Or girls run right.
Or girls run right doesn't get you back to the partner circle.
I just noticed I got 2 blues here.
Oh, okay.
That's my fault.
Okay, so
that should be a red.
He'll go fix that in the slides. Okay, but know how to work with the Alamo to resolve. Next slide. Oh, there we go. Save. Next slide.
I'm trying. I'm trying. Ah, come on.
There you go. Do the same thing. We need to work thars and learn how if you have a partner in a thar, slip the clutch, Alaman left. If you have a right,
where's my thars gone?
I don't need combinations for this. Okay, and from a thar, you can just have the girls everybody stop and the girls circulate or the boys circulate to create any one of the 4 possible thar solutions. And everybody knows you can slip the clutch or you can shoot the star. On to the next. But what I encourage you to do is learn how to resolve back to the partner from the thars. It's very easy. And if you just start with a circle left, 4 ladies chain 3/4, Alaban left to an Alaban thar, know which are you in partner, right hand lady, opposite or corner. That's all. And that's not difficult. Next slide. Yes, my famous working with boxes. To me, I think of a head square through as a box. It's like a room. Okay, it's a room with 4 doors. I got to a corner box by having the heads square through 4. Now, I can play in that box, never leave it, and go out the door I came in. That's the Alaban left. For example, what we're gonna do is pick 2 easy modules. We're gonna do we don't go to the slide or combinations yet, but we're gonna use a swing through, spin the top, slide through. Now, you think if I called swing through, spin the top, slide through, I could call it 4 times and you would say, that's too much repetition. I'm sorry, folks, it's not. Because you can do that swing through, spin the top, and all of these 4 boxes. Why is it not repetition? Because every single time you call that, they're dancing with other dancers in their square. Bingo. And you do it. I got to thinking just the other day, remembering in the early 70s, it might have been 1970, I first learned to dance. When a caller called a sequence, and we'll just assume now, using this one module, head square through, swing through, spin the top, slide through, Alaban left. Well, he would call it with the heads doing the square through and the sides doing the square through. We never, in the clubs that I was learning with back at that time, ever did a sequence without having the heads do it, then the sides do it. So you would get the feel, it feels different. Because it's just a matter of where you are. Did I start on the outside? Did I start on the inside? That is what variety should be. Should be. Not doing the head square through, 4 hands, touch a quarter, center straight, spin the top, pass through and face your partner, you know. You can do these DVD thing, and unfortunately, people think that is really, really what variety is all about. No, people want to dance to music. I'm thinking of, because I produce records and music, you'll find that almost every singing call I do starts with a circle left, sing the song, or a grand square, sing the song. Because singing calls to me are all about singing. Any guy off the street can come in and say 4 ladies promenade, once around, come back, swing, join hands, circle left, Alaban left, and weave. And in the last half of the opener, middle break, and closers, they'll actually use the song. I think that goes back to the early days of calling, and they didn't want to put words in because they might have to pay copyright fees. Well, we have to pay copyright fees on everything now. It's the way that society is. So now that we don't have to worry about that, I put the words in there. And if you want to do Alamo style swing throughs and stuff, that's fine. But again, the variety is in the song. Jerry Story once said that variety is in the next tip, call the same stuff with different music. That's variety. You know, use the same singing call figure in a different song. That's variety. I went to a chaparral weekend once, and they called the same singing call figure all weekend long. It was just one figure, and they used the same figure with every song. Nobody seemed to know or care because their choreography for their pattern was interesting. Singing calls were a celebration. But okay, anyway, back to this. If you have a box of 2 couples facing, you have to have one of these 4 boxes, one of these 4 groupings of people. It's impossible to do it any other way unless you use non-symmetric choreography. Okay, so what I like to do is know exactly which one I'm going to do. Okay, next slide. Get in. Okay, you go. How do you like his little chicken plucker picture? To get in, to get into a corner box, if we just do pass through trade by, boom, we're in the right hand lady box. That's my version of chicken plucker. I right and left through, dive through, pass through, put you out of sequence, and you need another right and left through. Then you're in a primary. Primary means everybody is in sequence in that box. So I like to do it. So everybody here probably can call that module head square through, swing through, spin the top, slide through at the corner, and it's an Alaman left. But do a pass through trade by, and you can call the same sequence with different people facing each other. Then you call it there. Then you do a conversion. You like conversions, right? Let's see. Do a swing through AC Doocy, which is girls trade, boys circulate, boys trade, girls circulate. Then you do a boys run, bend the line, reverse flutter, sweep a quarter. And which one did we go to here? Oh, we end up in a partner box. Everybody's facing their partner. This is probably a good initial teaching spot when you're going to teach a module, because you've got two couples facing their partner. So that's their favorite person in the whole square. They're more comfortable, they're more relaxed. So I no longer teach a new call from a corner box. I use partner boxes. And I don't think there's very many. Each one of you is probably the exception, but people don't deliberately get to a partner box and do something. But here's what's really cool is partner box is the easiest place to do something, right? Do a pass-through trade by and you're in an opposite lady box. Nobody's partner is in your group of four. I don't think your corner's there either. So that is the most difficult place as far as comfort is for somebody to do that sequence. So when they achieve it there, boy, they feel like they've really done something and they don't know why. Okay, they just, it really does. And so then you need to get out to the corner from each one of these things. And from an opposite lady box, if you're in sequence, bingo, do an 8 chain 3 and Alaman left. Okay. Next one. These are examples that Mel came up with doing stuff. Next slide. This is for you who want to read. Some people just wanted choreography. Oh, this one, he calls them diagonal boxes. I don't work with that. Next slide.
Yeah, just going back, for instance, Bob talked about this when he went from the right-hand box to the partner box. That's a module that rotates the sequence left or a module that rotates the sequence right. And then he works the boxes going with what he calls the chicken plucker, opposite to partner or corner to right-hand lady. And if you know those, it opens up that world of flexibility. Those method 1 and method 2 are the two that he was talking about. And these are just examples of those.
Okay. It's really simple to work with these 4 boxes and doors. I like his little cute picture down at the bottom. When your corner box, you come to the corner box, and right opposite that is your right-hand lady box. If you know from one box, you know how to go there and come back. Now, and that's my version of the chicken plucker. But I have another way to go from that corner box to the right-hand lady box and retain your relation, just an 8-chain 2. And then I thought, well, if we do a head square through 4 and swing through, boys run, bend the line, we're still in a corner box thing, but your line, everybody in that line has the right-hand lady in that line. So if you pass through, bend the line, pass the ocean, recycle, that's the sequence. You might want to write that down somewhere, Mel. But that's a chicken plucker. That has the effect of going from the corner box to the right-hand lady box. Now, I've just added one little thing. I can remember those things. You could too if you practice them. And so I can do this thing where I want to do the swing through, spin the top, okay? Or if I'm in a wave, I could do an all 8 circulate. That takes me from a right hand or a corner box wave to a right hand lady box wave with everybody in sequence. So there's, if you're working with waves, you can do the all 8 circulate. Now, I say an interesting thing about the all 8 circulate, we're going to break that box thing down and do a swing through, right, left. Now the girls are still in sequence, but the boys are out of sequence. So we have to spin the top, slide through to get them back in sequence. An interesting thing about being out of sequence, if after the swing through I call all 8 circulate, guess what the get out would be then? The same thing. It's a 0 as far as relationships go. Boy, but that gives a dynamic to the dancers to think that they've done something special, because they started in one relationship, did the all 8 circulate, they're in a different relationship, then they do the spin the top, slide through, and wow, they're amazed. How did he do that? You know, because he mixed up the people, and still we got to the corner. It's called variety. It's called variety. Variety is dancing with different people. You know, I like to get my arms around as many women as I can. I've loved women all my life, and I love dancing with different women. And there's women who like dancing with different guys. And that's what square dancing is. That's the heart of square dancing, is dancing with 8 people. It's not doing spin chain through from one wave is right-handed and one wave is left-handed. If you haven't ever done that, it's really cool. It's really cool. But that's for the puzzle people. And no matter what you do, you teach a class for a given amount of time, a year, actually maybe after 2 years, you have people who have so much fun, they want to do it often. Other people are casual dancers. For the casual dancers, you want to retain the simplicity. But for the hobby dancers, who maybe even go a couple of times a week, they're the ones that are want to progress and have a larger vocabulary and do plus and that. We're never going to lose those people. We thought, well, plus came along and that happened. No, it happened. It happened in the 50s and 60s. They were invite-only groups, and they watched and saw how well you danced, and if you danced well, you got an invitation, and you went to that group, and you danced to some of the best callers in the country, and those floors filled the room to maximum capacity. My wife and I danced with groups like that, and we loved it. And when we would go to an open festival, I had this little policy. I danced with all my friends and my newer dancers and whatever all night long. But at the end, they had their quote unquote star tip where they gave you they challenged you with material. And I basically had the same square no matter where I went. If I traveled 300 miles north, they would be there. And then I'd travel 200 miles south to another dance. God, these same people would be there because the really good dancers liked the really good callers. So they would make it a point to travel to those dances. And then I got the reputation of being the square that never broke down no matter what they called. So, I mean, I cannot tell you how many times the caller from the stage would look over at me and nod, and I'd point at my corner, and they'd resolve the square.
So what I'm going to do here, Bob, is I want to interject a bit.
Yeah, I got off topic.
when you get into this, the essence of what is being said is, if you look at the square, that two red lines going into the door, that's your get in. And if you have a get in to go into any one of those forms of boxes, right hand corner, opposite, or partner boxes, you can use a fixed module. So if I have a get in to get to a right hand lady box, head, star through, pass through, right and left through, if that's my get in, I can use a module, use a chicken plucker to go across to the corner box and get out of the corner box.
Right.
Or as Bob says, if I want to go into a partner box, I can do a get into a partner box, do the same module, do a chicken plucker to take to an opposite box. It's going to feel different because I'm getting in different. I've got a different aspect for the dancers, a different wall for them to look at. I've got different people for them to interact with. And even though I'm doing the same choreography, it's adding variety. And knowing that, and knowing that I can go straight across, or I can go always right and rotate, I can go right once and get out. So if you know a get into any box and a get out from any box, just one simple get in and get out, and a module, you now have what? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 4 times 4 is what? What's 16 times 4?
64.
64. You've got 64 sequences that will not repeat. You're doing it with different dancers, but you're using the same module to interact them. That is power and variety beyond the scope of just knowing a chicken plucker going straight across and forth. That's the power of what this system is. If you know a get in, you know a module, and you know a resolution or an exit door, you've got a world of choreography at your feet that you probably didn't even know you already had.
Okay, I'm just going to give you a simple question out there. Everybody, I want you to think. Okay, you're in a box you call swing through, AC-doocy, boys run, bend the line. What kind of a line do you have?
Hot in the line.
1P, 2P.
Okay, Bill did it. That's what most people would say.
So
but no. I use it in a right-hand lady box. I call swing through, AC-doocy, boys run, bend the line. I have an opposite lady line. Or if I'm in a opposite lady, I do a swing through, AC-doocy, boys run, bend the line. I'm in a corner line. I'm in a corner line and I call it, and then I back to the partner. Okay, if you can use any conversion that takes you from the side doors. Okay, that's what a conversion is. It's not the front door or rear door, it's the side doors. It takes you, or if you're in the side door, it takes you to the head doors. Okay, any conversion that you use, you can use it there and it takes you to a different thing. If you use it 4 times in a row, you can rotate all the way around the square. And so I've taken all these conversions I used to do, like from a partner line, I do touch a quarter, coordinate, and bend the line. I'm in a corner line. But wait, try it again. Touch a quarter, coordinate, and bend the line. I'm now with my opposite lady. You know, I just keep moving around the square. And so I have, in the last year, taken these things and used them to deliberately go to these places. I might add, for the first time ever, I don't call every tip with that. But if I'm doing plus or below, and especially if I'm doing one tip at a group thing, or I'm only doing 2 or 3 tips, I use this almost exclusively. I called a plus dance. It was a combination, mainstream dancers and a plus dance. And I called the entire evening using this formula that I gave you here. And I knew how to get to the corner all night long. I never guessed. I never looked. I did an advanced dance at a national with my friend Elmer Sheffield, and I turned around and stared with Elmer Sheffield, looking straight in the eye, and I called to the floor, and I called this, and I did all my clever things and shout and do this, and you're home with a 1, 2, 3, and never looked at the floor. And Elmer was just staring back at me and then stared at the floor. And how did I keep those people dancing that whole time without looking at them? You know, your choreography.
So to draw, I'm just going to draw this into perspective. When we look at going to a box, so if I go from a corner box and I go right to a partner box, the same principle applies to conversions to lines. That module that he gave, swing through, acey-deucey, boys run, bend the line, takes me from corner to partner. And all I've done is change it from box to line. So if it goes from corner to partner, your box goes from corner box to partner line. If it goes from partner to right hand, it goes from partner box to right hand lady line. And knowing that opens up a whole world of choreography again, working from lines, which is, I think, the next thing that you're going to be talking about.
Yeah, and talking about boxes, okay, we do that swing through, acey-deucey, boys run, bend the line. Of course, now we're in the partner line. But because I did the bend the line, reverse flutter wheel and sweep a quarter converts that line, partner line, to a partner box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I can repeat it over and go to the next thing. Okay, next slide. What are we going to talk about? Oh, yes, learning from lines. The same thing applies. And I want to, at this point, say that if we draw a circle around any group, like a partner line, a line, if the ends join hands, we have a circle, correct? Well, guess what? From any box where we're facing a given person, a right-hand lady or a left-hand lady, or any line, like say a corner line, what is the get out? What is the get out? Well, going back to our introduction at the beginning, oh gosh, it was hard. The get out is Alavan left doing Alamo style, and you know who you have, and you already had your get out from learning to work the circles. Or you could do an Alaman left, do an Alaman dar. How many of you have ever been in a right-hand lady box and said Alaman left, do an Alaman dar after calling a whole bunch of stuff in that box? You know, the thing would be head square through 4. We're using this one as an example. Swing through, spin the top, slide through. We're facing the corner. Pass through, trade by. We're facing the right-hand lady. And I say, Alavan left in the Alamo style. Then we have a right-hand lady Alamo wave, or opposite lady Alamo wave, and we call swing through to a right or left grand and use that as a get out. So when I was talking about, you probably would think of why is he wasting our time, about the circles, all those same get outs work in boxes and lines. And there's other ones you use. And in the Word document that comes with this, Mel gives a lot of examples of get outs that you can do from each of these positions. See? My thing today is to not give you all this choreography that can create all these things, and you're more than welcome to all of that. And maybe from there, I'll actually write up more stuff and keep increasing the Word document for possibilities of things to do. I'm saying that what I do, if I go to a partner line, there we go. We're in a go to terminations.
Oh, now it's going to be slow.
Heads lead right, circle to a line. Okay. Oh,
yeah, I can do that.
If you were in a circle to get to the opposite lady, you would do a 4 ladies chain, right? Guess what? 4 ladies chain. Oh my gosh, it works. And you do that a few times, and you can call 4 ladies chain 3/4. Terminations won't do that, but your dancers will. Okay? And one of my favorite ways of calling a 4 ladies chain is do a pass through. Mel? Oh, there we go. Wheel and deal. Double pass through. Cloverleaf. Double pass through. First couple left, next go right. Whoa! That's a 4 ladies chain. I learned that. And oh, wow. Now, when I want to do that, four ladies chain or chain them back, bingo. Now, combinations will not do this, but your dancers will, and I've never had to teach it. If you can call four ladies chain, you can send them back for a flutter wheel, and you've got a 0. I mean, you're in the same sequence. I don't know why he didn't do it, but he just hasn't put that choreography in there yet. But if you did a four ladies flutter wheel, they get their partner, and they all come back, and they're all in sequence. And if they can do that, you could do the four boys reverse the flutter wheel. And the best way to introduce them to that is have the four ladies flutter wheel and the four boys reverse the flutter. And they will do it. And that's simplistic stuff. That's simple. That's beautiful for SSD people. And so I do it. And you know, the used to be the most common way to get out of a line was right and left through and cross trail through, which now is advanced. So the other one was slide through, square through 3, Alaman left. Now be prepared to have a get out from any of these primary lines and use them.
So the same principle applies with the boxes. If you have a get in to a known line, partner, corner, opposite, right-hand lady, and a get out, you can use a 2-couple module, or you can use any of your 4-couple modules that are 0 modules and do the same thing. Where the power of this system comes is if you get into a corner line, you can convert using that swing through AC-doocy method into a partner line and get out from a partner line. Or if you're in a partner box, you can get to a right-hand lady line, and you can swap those get outs back and forth for the variety of feel, not only with dancers, with orientation, but from boxes and lines using any of your circle get outs, which are very underused. It is such a powerful method, but sequence is the key.
And the thing about keeping everybody in sequence, okay, first of all, from lines to boxes, you do a right and a left through slide through, and a partner line becomes a partner box. You've already learned to get out from the partner box so you can get out there. Or you could flutter wheel and sweep a quarter. There, okay? That converts it to the box. Slide through. We're in our line. Reverse flutter. And sweep a quarter. Now you're in sequence back at your partner box. You don't do this, but you could do your swing through, spin the top, slide through, okay?
I was just about to type that, actually.
But star through again, or do a star through here. Not smooth, but if you had called something from a corner box, and you did a left swing through AC-doocy, girls run bend the line, girls would now flow into do a flutter wheel and sweep a quarter. Do it. Bingo, you're back into a partner box. Okay, how do you go from box to a line? Star through or slide through. and then a partner box becomes a partner line. Okay, and you can do your get outs. Let's go back, and what was the next slide?
Get out.
Oh, yeah, that, and he gives some get outs and a variety of things, and there you go.
These are simple get outs. Like as Bob said, if you put a circle around these dancers, those are just circles with the ends pushed in to make lines. You can use any of your circle get outs. You can use any of your thar get outs. And if you've got those for
Or
variety,
Alamo get outs, yeah.
or Alamo get outs, one simple get out from those lines, one simple get out from the boxes, you've now got two circle get outs, two thar get outs, two Alamo style get outs, one simple. Now we've taken our 64 times 4 times 5 with just 4 modules. That's how many sequences? I have no idea. But those are non-repeatable sequences. And we haven't made the choreography complex, but we've made so much variety because of who you're dancing with, what direction you're facing in, getting out, changing from a box to a line, controlling what type of box or line it is, and moving the dancers with simple choreography that has such variety, and you are in control all the time because I've gone from corner box to partner line. I've done a partner line get out, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and one thing that gets me is, I guess Kip Garvey made a joke sometime that Bob Elling knows thousands of modules. And he's probably right. But how did I get there? Yes, I'm gifted with a good memory. But I really resent it when a caller tells me he can't learn modules. It's too difficult. The same caller gets up and calls the same singing call the same way every time. Folks, he used a module. That's what singing calls are. They're dedicated modules. And if you can learn to do the singing calls, you can learn to do the modules. You just have to make a little effort. But he talked about having done the one module, it gave 64 variations that he could do. Okay. Well, guess what? I'll add a second module. Head square through 4, touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade. Where am I? Touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade, reverse flutter, slide through. Does that work? Square through 4. Touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade, reverse flutter. No sweep a quarter.
All right.
And slide through. So that's a module. That's a module. Now I know that module. Okay, so I had 64 variations with the first module. Well, guess what? I had a second module. So I can do 64 with that. I can combine the two modules and use both of them. So I got another 64. But it's more than that because I could put one module first one time, the other module first the second time. So I'm just going to say it right here. Head square through, spin the top, or swing through, spin the top, slide through, touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade, reverse the flutter, and slide through. But the next time I could start with square through 4, touch a quarter, walk and dodge, partner trade, reverse the flutter. I could do slide through or pass the ocean and do a swing through, spin the top, slide through. See, I had two little things from that thing. I could slide through or pass the ocean. That just doubled that. The thing is, right now, we're probably, I don't know how many hundred possibilities, but it's more than 100. I think it's probably around 600 different possibilities of different ways we could call that sequence. That's a lot of variety with 2 modules. See, my system mainly is a modular caller. How can
That's the second module.
Then the variations of that modules.
That's adding your swing through, spin the top, slide through.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if you want to just have that simple conversion, I'm going to add swing through, acey-deucey, boys run, bend the line. That's the conversion, partner out times 4, and 1 single get out. I'm not including any of the circle get outs. That's a single get out from the lines times a single get out from the boxes. That's how many variations you have using a conversion, box to line, a chicken plucker straight across, a get in and a get out from a box and a line from each of those boxes. That's how many different sequences you can have using 1 0 module, 1 get in, 1 get out.
Oh, no.
Sorry, two get ins and 2 get outs. Yes, correct.
Yeah, and with just that little bit, you have 65,000. Okay. Now, it just exponentially gets larger. It gets so large that if you had a module for each possible call to use, you will not live long enough to do all the possibilities. They're there. But at the same time, it's right at your fingertips, so to speak. You can do it anytime ad lib. I've been accused of never calling the same dance twice. And I really don't. But that was, I guess it was a habit I developed that my father was really annoyed with. Like, if I went to the grocery store, I never took the same street. When I walked to school, I'd go 2 blocks out of my way and walk down a different street and come home all the time. And I did it. I was so good at it. We went up to the Mount Palomar Observatory, and we were with some friends, and we walked through the forest for 2 hours, winding through trees. No, not always a path, sometimes cutting through. And when we got there and finally got to a road, they wanted to go back, and I wanted to go back the way we came. And I said I knew the way back because I got here. And the couple that was with us said, no, we're going to walk and follow the road. Well, if you've been up there, you have no idea how many hairpin turns you had to go through to get up to the top of the mountain. And going through the forest, wait, please. There's a point. The way through the forest, I knew it. And we walked back there, and we got there 2 hours before they did.
Yeah.
It's knowing where your boxes are, deliberately create them, and go to another one. Now, how do you do or create modules? Go to termination.
What I wanted to do, Bob, is
Yeah.
if we can just finish the theory on working with two-face lines, because that's your next slide.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The last slide. I know this is going to open it up for discussion, but there's some people that only have an hour that they can give, and we're just at the top of the hour.
Okay. Fine. Let's do that.
Okay. Now you've already covered the bend the line is one of the easiest way, but if I can interject here, essentially what you're looking at is all of those boxes and all of those lines. That relationship in sequence works exactly the same with two-face lines. And it's also a good way of changing those relationships. If you do that AC-doocy method that Bob was talking about, boys run, you can have the ends circulate again, or you could have the center circulate again. You could have the couples circulate to give a different aspect and change from partner to right hand to opposite to corner just by having somebody circulate on those paths. The same as you can do the same thing if you've got it in sequence with your ocean waves, which Bob mentioned before. Having that circulate changes the path, but not the sequence. And then you can make those relationships to do, as he said, bend the line. If you have the boys run from here and do the relationship, bend the line, the girls can go into the flutter wheel. Or if you have the boys run from the ocean wave, circulate, bend the line, reverse flutter wheel.
Right. This is a clockwise two-face lines that he has. So it's bend the line, reverse the flutter, sweep a quarter. Now, if they do a partner trade and couples circulate, the girls are on the outside, you bend the line to a flutter wheel, sweep a quarter. Those two things have the same result. And I guess that's what makes it powerful for me, is that I have all these alternatives that do the same thing. So I just have to pick which one, you know. I go to the ice cream store, I get vanilla. Next time I get chocolate. You can mix it up for the dancers. The dancers will not follow you. Okay, what was next?
That was just what we talked about, working the two-face lines.
Correct. Two-face lines are conversions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's play games. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Mark, was there anything in the chat?
No, there was not.
Oh, okay. Now, as Bob was saying, it seems like a very simple method to get into a corner box, get into an opposite box, get into the box you want, call a module, and have a get out. Get into the line you want, call a module, do a get out. It is actually simple, but explaining it is like explaining everything that goes into bend your finger. You got the thought, the muscles, the nerves, and everything else that goes with it. So what I've tried to capture here is a complete breakdown, step by step, going through how these processes work in the three methodologies that he has. The first two are the most important ones, which is crossing the street in boxes or lines, or right hand or left hand rotation in boxes and lines. And that's paramount, is keeping the sequence. Doing that, you saw the math. The math is simple math. It seems complex. It's not. It opens up a world of choreography to you. It opens up a world of variety to you. And it opens up a world of control of the dancers that you probably never had before. But more importantly, it's not always, girls circulate, boys trade, boys run. Okay, where are they? Okay, boys circulate once, there's my pairing. Ferris wheel, where are the centers? The dancers know you're setting up. If you control the box, you control the line, you can call bend the line and a get out. And yet that can be a circle get out, an Alaman get out, an Alamo style get out, or a Dar get out that is almost never used, or a standard line get out that the dancers are going to go, where did that come from?
I forgot something to put in there. When we convert, we'll just use the example of you use swing through, boys run, bend the line from a box to go from a partner
Boys.
to a corner box. Okay. But did you know if you do a right from a corner box, if you do a right and left through, now do your swing through AC doocy.
I'm only doing that because not everybody calls plus.
Okay, boys trade. Now boys run, bend the line. Really? It's pair off. Corner box, right and left through. Swing through, boys trade, boys run, bend the line. Right and left through to put them back in sequence. I thought it was going the other direction.
No.
That just did the same thing.
That's
Four
an
ladies.
opposite. Yeah, that's an opposite grouping.
Four ladies chain. I want to check something out here. Something just wasn't right on that. Okay, if we touch a quarter, coordinate, bend the line. Now we have a corner line. Okay. Do the right and left through. Touch a quarter.
That's a corner line out of sequence.
Yeah. Touch
Yeah.
a quarter. Coordinate. Bend the line right and left through. This is what I expected the last one to do. Now you're back to a partner line. How do you, a conversion that goes from one state to the other? If you put a right and left through at the beginning, call the same sequence, and a right and left through at the end, you should be able to rotate the other direction around the square, only knowing one conversion. So you can move around the square in any direction using that. Why didn't it work with your other one?
Because we didn't have the right and left through at the start and at the end.
Oh.
What
No,
about from
that-
the right-hand lady box?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Corner box, right, left through, swing through, girls circulate, boy trade, boy run, bend the line, right and left through. But an example of a complicated.
Sorry, never mind.
Okay. Let's do reset.
I'm just having a bit of a computer kerfuffle here at the moment. Bear with me 1 second.
Oh, you're not as worried as I was. 1 hour before I logged in, I had a power failure here. But it wasn't major. It only lasted for a minute or two.
Yeah.
But I had to go around, reset all the clocks and everything.
Yeah.
But let's get back to a corner box.
Yeah. What you're talking about is actually in the text of the document. And that's if you go counterclockwise or clockwise. If you put a right and left through at the front and back of these modules, reversing the direction of flow without changing the sequence, they become diagonal chicken pluckers, which gives a real feeling of variety, which is what you're talking about. But you need a right and left through. Your sequence has a right and left through,
But it
and
did.
ends with a right and left through. But that's part of the sequence. You have to put a right and left through at the front,
We-
and then
We
repeat that right
did.
and left through. No,
We did,
there's all
but it
there.
kept going the same direction. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, what I want to do, head square through 4. I'm just giving an example how I work things. And
Mhm.
I love doing it, and spin, chain, exchange the gears. Now, I studied the sequence, and afterwards, I like to have a girl's trade because it's just the best flowing thing there. Ladies trade. Wow, everybody's out of sequence with their opposite lady. Recycle and sweep a quarter. Okay. So we're in an opposite lady line. But I want to show you something because I knew this happened, right? That it went from corner to opposite lady. 4 ladies chain. Touch a quarter. I'm just going back to a box. Circulate. Boy run. Now we're in the corner box. So that's where we started. But I knew that went to a right-hand lady line. Okay. Star through and past the ocean. Which is the same thing as right and left through and make a wave. I'm just try always to get flow. But now we did the right and left through there. Now let's do the sequence. Spin, chain, exchange the gears. Ladies, oh, did you add the ladies trade?
Just did.
Yeah, you did. Girls trade. Now, guess what? We're with our partner in sequence. Now we could do the but then a right and a left through there. So I use that same thing. By putting a right and a left through at the beginning and the end, I was able to use spin, chain, exchange the gears from a corner box to get to a partner line.
Yeah.
They're my favorites, the corner boxes and the partner lines. But you can do that. I suppose
this is what we were doing before.
Why doesn't it work with that one?
Now, the reason that's the partner line with a clockwise rotation to the right-hand lady line, which is fine. But the reason it wasn't working before, you have to put a right and left through at the front and back of the modules. That module already has a right and left through at the front of it. So you have to go right and left through, right and left through. That's why. Okay. You have to put it right and left through at the front and the back. If the module already has a right and left through, you have to maintain that and still put a right and left through at the front and back. So that's where that, slide through past the ocean to the wave will work in a right and left through equivalent. See where it says right and left through? So if I wanted to repeat that module, I would have to go right and left through at the front. Then I do the module, right and left through, past the ocean, swing through,
Or in the corner box.
circulate, while boys trade, boys run, end the line, end the line, and then they put it right and left through at the end of it. That's what I was trying to say. If your module already has a right and left through at the beginning or end, you still have to put another right and left through at the beginning and end.
Yeah, I am aware of
that's what we missed. That's what we missed the first time.
No, you did a heads pair off.
Yeah, that just got me to corner box.
That was the corner box. So I did the right and left through. Then I did my module. Then I did another right and left through. But for some reason, I ended up with the opposite lady. I've got to play with that. But anyway, going back to the spin chain exchange of gears, I ended up in a opposite lady line. Don't forget that to get out for that could have easily been 4 ladies chain. Now I'm back into a partner line. So I can deliberately do that. And if I'm calling a dance, I will use those variations when I'm using just the standard spin chain exchange of gears. And the dancers don't know how the hell they got out of it. You know, I mean, unless they're a C4 caller who's dancing at your dance, he might figure it out, in which case I have to get trickier and I can do that. But we don't go there.
Yeah.
I hate to fractionalize calls. I just hate it. And that's fine.
Yeah, where all this really comes into play is if you know how to get into one of these things, either in a circle, in a thar, in a Alamo ring, then you know how to do get outs from any series of calls where you have a line and the dancers are all in sequence. You know how to do this if you have any series of calls, if they're in a box and the dancers are all in sequence. So you now have 3 possible circle type formation get outs. If you have a get into a corner box, opposite box, right-hand box, or partner box, if you've got 4 get ins and you've got 4 get outs, you've got a whole wealth of material to do any focus module. So if your focus module was scoot back, you can write that scoot back and you can do it from any 2 couple module from lines or boxes. And you can get in. If you can transit from a box to a line and have control knowing what the relationship is, because your sequence is not changing, you can do any of those 2 couple modules from lines or boxes, and it will feel so different to the dancers, but you're doing the same choreography. It feels weird and wonderful. And as was pointed out, 2 get-ins, 1 get-out, and 1 0 module, 1 2 couple 0 module is 65,000 3 module sequences without repetition. And that doesn't even include the circles. It is so much variety and so much usability with choreographic control. And the nice thing about this, as opposed to crams, as opposed to site resolution techniques, as opposed to station calling, which this is a variation of station calling, is that with such a very limited amount of choreography, you can expose your dancers to the entire gamut of SSD, basic, mainstream, or even plus using 1 module. You don't have to prepare a lot of material to give that variety, that danceability, that usability, and that wonderful dancing experience of success that most callers do by overwhelming themselves and thus overwhelming the dancers with what they think is choreography that needs to be done. As Bob was saying, they don't care. They in that aspect is the dancers. They don't care about the choreography as long as it's successful and it feels different and it has variety. The people that are getting bored, that want this colorful choreography and the fractionalized whoop whoops from C2 being brought into basic and with a few directional calling, those are callers. And the callers are calling from themselves. They're not giving the dancers the best experience. Most dancers don't care. They want something that's going to challenge their mind, that they're successful at, that they have fun, and they enjoy it. And the more familiar it is, but with more people they dance to, the better the overall experience. That's the capsulization of Bob's system. I've tried to document it. I can tell you right now, I probably didn't do it the justice it deserves. But as I was going through it, how he explained it to me, I opened up a whole world of ideas to myself, moving the dancers left, moving the dancers right, moving the dancers across in sequence. And a third methodology is that back and forth chicken plucker, which is the one that everybody knows, right and left through, dive through, pass through. That takes them from in sequence to out of sequence, from out of sequence to in sequence. That's also covered in Bob's theory, but that's something that's left until you master. Keep them in sequence first. That's for really, really experienced callers. And yet what happens to new callers today is they're taught the most advanced, complicated technique to start with.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to unlearn. It doesn't take much to learn.
And what I use a lot of is what, Jack, she was from Florida. I forget. Had the notes. Jack Lazary came out. He did this thing called isolated sight. So you go to your box of 4, look at where they are, and just do anything you want them until you're in the same box and you're back to your primary. And yes, I do that. I will do that. I don't always use all the modules I want unless I'm doing teaching. Then I really repeat the same thing over and over again. But now, unlike before, I repeat the same thing over and over again in the different 4 primary boxes. And that is the strongest, one of the strongest teaching tools you can use, is to let them repeat it with difference. When I learned to round dance, our round dance instructor moved us to the next person and we repeated, moved us to the next person and repeated until we got all the way around the circle. You know, that was fun. Those were the days. And I remember this huge circle, and I took this lady with me and we were learning round dance together. And I saw this girl I liked and she saw the guy she liked, and they were partners. And it was really fun because we went all the way around the thing. And when we got back to each other again, I says, well, did you like the guy? She says, yeah, I got his phone number. And I said, yeah, I got her phone number. It was fun. But the thing was, what made that round dance class was doing it with different people. Square dancing is the same thing. We think that it has to be complex DVD stuff, but you know, we had a big exodus from square dancing in the early 90s, because that's when round dancing hit its thing and it was real good. And why did people leave the interesting square dance combinations to go and do these simple round dance things that repeated over and over again? And they're doing these same line dancing sequences 30 years later for some of them. And people will go and do that same line dance over and over and over again. People like that. They like being able to know what they're going to do, and they're doing it without a partner. And we lost a lot of people, and we didn't lose them because square dancing wasn't as interesting. Square dancing wasn't as musical. That was the big thing. And we need more of musical square dancing to the beat of the music. I always start a dance in a strange area, I'll call circle left and I'll count to 16 and say stop. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stop. And I ask everybody if they're home. On the average, most squares have only gone 3/4 round. So then I said, well, continue, get back home. Remember, it only takes 4 steps to get to the next couple's position. So we're going to try it again. Second time, everybody nails it right on the beat. And so I call a lot of circle lefts to get back home. And check your timing. Why do they learn to adjust their footsteps to match everybody else's in the circle. And I tell them the circles have to be closer together. And you would be surprised how much better they get with all the other choreography. Because the choreography involves mixing people, and you want them to be taking the same size steps. And when you do that and you get them home in the 16 beats, something else happens. They're dancing to the beat of the music. And you want them to do that, combined with doing these modules and moving them around. I'm a square dance nut. My whole life has been square dancing. I owned a 7-Eleven store franchise, and I got to the point where between calling 7 nights a week and working 7 days a week at the 7-Eleven store, I got walking pneumonia and ended up in a hospital, and my doctor said I couldn't keep up that schedule. I told my wife we wouldn't make as much money, but I could be calling square dancing full time, or I could be running a 7-Eleven store, but I can't do both. She says, you like the square dancing, so there's no question, just do that. We'll live with less money. And she says, if I have to, I'll go out and get a job, which she did do while I was sick. And